Wow, brand new setup. I spent all $4,000 so I can make my green screen do this. Pretty good investment. There are quite a few traditions most of us have around the holidays. Bake cookies, pick out a tree, caroling. Does anyone actually still do that? Or what about what's your favorite Christmas movie? Based off internet data, the top 3 watched movies during Christmas are It's a Wonderful Life, Die Hard, obviously, and Home Alone. You remember the 1990 classic movie with the shitty parents, child endangerment, and home invasion? Yeah. That Christmas movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Home Alone is great, but after recently watching it as an adult, it's so much stranger than I remember. Oh, and Kevin McAllister is 100% growing up to be a serial killer. I'm not gonna lie, I just realized how thick I look on camera. So we kick off a few days before Christmas and we're introduced to the McAllisters, who are gonna be flying to France the next day to spend Christmas there. And I'm talking the whole family. There's like 1,000 people in this house. Also, did we ever figure out what Kevin's dad does for work? The McAllisters live in a 9,100 square foot home in Chicago, 7 tickets round trip, 2 of which are first class to Paris, days before Christmas. I know things were cheaper in the 90s, but that's still probably $1 million. So as I mentioned, the house is super chaotic. The entire McAllister family tree is here going absolutely bananas. And then we're introduced to our main character, Kevin. And right off the bat, Kevin is getting shit on, like his entire family hates him for whatever reason. And he's 8 years old.
Kevin, out of the room.
Oh, really? You're completely helpless. You're what the French call les incompetents.
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
Also, Joe Pesci is in this, and you'd be surprised to know he doesn't say motherfucker once. In this movie, he plays Harry, a gigantic piece of shit thief who is pretending to be a cop to find out if the families are gonna be away for the holidays so he and his sidekick Marv can rob them blind. Now here's my first interesting fact about this movie. The pizza driver that repeatedly runs over the McAllister statue works for a place called Nero's Pizza, which is obviously a reference to Little Caesars. However, Nero was a Roman emperor who, after having sexual relations with his mother, decided to have her killed. And instead of mourning, he asked for more wine. Oh, what's that? Keep going. He murdered his stepbrother, his wife, and was blamed for starting a fire that burned Rome for 9 days, and was known to liking to wander the street and murder innocent people at random. Nero's Pizza, ladies and gentlemen. Could have named it literally anything else. In this next scene, Kevin's anger finally comes to a boiling point. After taking enough shit from everyone, Kevin goes into a childlike rage.
Get a plate.
The whole family springs into action. This kid's skull almost gets crushed and gets sent to bed with no food.
Say goodnight, Kevin.
Good night, Kevin.
You're the only one acting up. Now, get upstairs.
I am upstairs, dummy. I didn't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life, and I didn't want to see anybody else either.
This is an 8-year-old's way of saying, I want my family dead. Fast forward a bit later, the entire house is asleep. Alarms are set to get up for the flight tomorrow, but bad weather causes the power to go out, resetting all of their alarm clocks. Which, for all you Zoomers out there, alarm clocks were the primary device we used back in the day to wake us up, not our phones. God damn it, I'm old. Now, I know the entire plot of Home Alone is contingent on every perfect event occurring for the movie to happen, but this neighborhood kid right here is the sole reason as to why every bad thing is about to happen in Home Alone.
How fast does this thing go? Does it have automatic transmission? Does it have four-wheel drive?
While doing a head count, the equivalent of the Polar Express kid is mistaken as Kevin being present, so the whole family rushes to the airport thinking that Kevin is on board.
You made it.
Can you believe it? Hope we didn't forget anything.
No one thought to physically make sure their youngest child was actually awake in the morning, the one who needed help packing their first bag? Nothing? Kevin gets up to find an empty house and realizes his wish of his entire family being gone comes true.
Kevin, you're completely helpless.
No, Kevin, you're what the French call les incompetents.
Kevin, I'm going to feed you to my tarantula.
Do you have any games on your phone? I remember when I was a kid, if I lost my mother at the grocery store, I would freak the fuck out.
I made my family disappear.
Not Kevin. Now, I know this next scene is supposed to represent a child's wild imagination, but this boiler in the basement is 100% Satan. And that makes sense. The devil lives in the basement of Kevin's death house. Moving on to our next scene, Harry and Marv are starting to plot their burglary since they know which families are gone for the holidays.
And that's the one, Marvin. That's the silver tuna.
Oh, it's very G.
Very G, huh? It's loaded. Crowbars up.
Now, the score in Home Alone was created by John Williams, and as we all know, music plays a huge role in setting the mood for a scene. But what if we plucked out the somewhat cartoony score from the first home invasion scene and replaced it with something else? This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a horror movie. So the wet bandits are absolutely feasting with all the families gone for Christmas. I'm talking like stealing absolutely everything in broad daylight. And to make matters worse, Marv starts plugging the sinks, causing the houses to flood. I mean, like, isn't ransacking somebody's house already bad enough? Now, Kevin and Harry have only seen each other once, and after almost getting cooked by Harry's Hamburglar van, Kevin makes the realization that he was the cop from earlier.
What's the matter?
I don't like the way that kid looked at me. Did you see that?
Let's see what house he goes into.
A few hours pass and the wet bandits decide to check on the McAllister house, and thank God they did, because Kevin somehow pulled off the most elaborate decoy in the history of kids' movies. Now, earlier in the movie, the electrician tells Kevin's mom that due to the storm, it's going to be days till they get the phones back up. And Kevin's parents have been calling nonstop from across the planet to their neighbors, which means the phones are working, which means they should be able to call Kevin. What if he doesn't pick up? Sure, but this is the 90s. You cannot convince me that they don't have an answering machine with a speaker you can hear. So here's my theory. The script knows the phone works as Kevin is able to order a pizza, and they only let that happen and ignore everything I mentioned previously so that we can get the scene of Kevin pretending to fire an automatic gun at the pizza guy while he's filled with so much joy. Kid is evil. I'm fucking telling you. Kevin's mom is finally able to get a flight back to the US, but is stranded due to no seats available to Chicago.
If I have to sell my soul to the devil himself.
I'm sure that can be arranged. Fast forward to the next day, and the wet bandits find out that Kevin is full of shit and decide to move forward with the break-in later that evening. But like, what is their actual plan? Kevin knows what you dumbasses look like, so they're gonna just break into the house anyway and just whack them?
We'll get a bite to eat and we'll come back about 9 o'clock.
Thankfully, Harry is dropping the entire playbook earshot away from Kevin, so he's able to get a head start. You know, like running to a neighbor's house. It's not like he lives in Chernobyl. Someone has to be home. Or how about calling the cops, because we know the fucking phones work. Nope, he chooses to take the fight head on himself. But first, he has to see Crack Santa, go to church, and live-action roleplay Michael Myers in front of a house. Like Kevin, right there. Go knock on the door and tell them. So the moment we've all been waiting for is here, the raid boss of Christmas, and Kevin is ready to defend his home. Alone. Get it? After drawing up his murder plans, Kevin miraculously puts together the greatest home defense plan of all time in like 20 minutes. He even has time to make mac and cheese. Feel stupid yet? Also, after seeing this blueprint scene, it got me thinking. We know the McAllister home is in Chicago. Want to know what else is in Chicago, Illinois? The H.H. Holmes Murder Castle, a giant building rigged with booby traps, secret passages, and rooms outfitted with trapdoors, where reported 200 people were killed. Coincidence? Probably. They both have traps set up in the house, and like, hey, shut up. The time is nigh, bitches, and Kevin has got this house ready to cook. And I'll be honest, I think I would rather go through a jigsaw challenge than try to go into Kevin's house. Because almost literally immediately, Harry gets shot in the dick.
What? What? What happened?
Get that little...
And then Marv goes to the doggy door head first, like, bro, what are you doing?
Hello.
Seems like this door isn't an option. Better try the stairs. JK, Kevin also has that covered. Take this scene for instance. Kevin puts tar on the basement stairs, in which forces Marv to go up the stairs shoeless to step on a massive nail. It's not like multiple nails, it's just one. The brain power it takes to predict that is fucking crazy. So you've probably seen the movie. Kevin continues to destroy Harry and Marv for like the next 11 minutes.
You bomb me with one more can, kid, and I'll snap off your cojones and boil the motor oil!
Sorry, Harry, must have missed that one as a kid. Did you say you want to boil Kevin's cut off balls? Oh wow, and look, Kevin finally decided to call the police. Holy f***. Kevin then flees to a neighbor's house that was recently robbed and finally gets outsmarted by the wet bandits. They start listing off all the ways they're going to torture him.
I'll burn his head with a blowtorch.
And smash his face with an iron.
Bite off every one of these little fingers, one at a time.
But alas, the creepy snow shovel neighbor who Kevin 1000% could have asked for assistance earlier saves the day.
Come on, let's get you home.
And bro, you couldn't have turned the water off? So Kevin wins, Harry and Marv get arrested, and I know this is supposed to be a movie, but I'm pretty sure both of them would have died twice going through Kevin's house in real life. All is right in the world. Kevin is finally reunited with his mom, and then decides to make this face. So my friends, that is my take on Home Alone being weirder than I remember. This movie will still remain a classic for me, obviously, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you think I should cover Home Alone 2, because Kevin is still the Antichrist in that one as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.